So today our topic is smoke versus sanity testing. So it is very important interview question. So smoke versus sanity testing both are basically basic functional testing. Okay. So in this testing we don't test in detail. Here a very basic functionality that we are going to test. So smoke testing means whenever a developer provide build to the tester, when we get the build from the developer as a tester, build means what? Piece of software. It contains some number of features. Okay. As a tester, we do some basic testing. First, you will verify you got that complete build or not. Is there any files missing or not? That we have to verify and install in testing environment and checking the installation is perfectly or not. The build is stable or not to continue further process. So you have to focus mainly on that area that is called smoke testing. So smoke is nothing but whether the particular is stable or not in your environment, properly installed or not, and basic navigation is working or not, that we have to check. For example, if you take for example, open URL in your laptop, just browse it. So what we are, if you URL open, then what happened? I'm getting home page that we are going to check. Okay, home page. It's open or not that we are going to check. And when I click something which is navigating to next page or not, just basic level of testing. Okay, before conduct in-depth testing, so we conduct basic level of testing that is called smoke testing. So it is kind of build verification testing. In few cycles we will release unstable cycles or builds, so smoke testing conduct in every build that is stable or not, whatever comes from the developer. So in initial stage, we will never get stable builds because just a developer started the development, right? So we don't expect the stable build in initial stage. So you will conduct the smoke testing. After few minutes cycles, slowly the build becomes stable. In that time, the developer as soon as providing the build will be stable after few many cycles. In that case, we will conduct the sanity testing. So it is mainly focused on the functionalities, right? And it is very high level functionalities, not only build or any installation, it is also checking the functionalities like login is working or not, products are displaying or not, links are properly working or not, logout is properly working or not, and so on. So basic functionalities that we are going to verify, that is called sanity testing. So smoke testing is done by the developers and testers also. So before deliver the build to the tester, the developer will do smoke testing, some smoke testing, because providing the build to the tester, they install in their own environment and check the build that is working or not. So after that, they will release to the tester. And sanity testing, it is done by testers only. So testers only conducted because the developer will not test the features and functionalities. They will test only build. In sanity testing, testers verify the features is working or not. If smoke and sanity testing is successful, then only accept the build from the developer. Sometimes also rejected the build by testers when it is not stable. Okay. So here there are few points. Smoke testing is done to make sure the build we received from the developer team is stable or not. So here, I noted some points. If they ask you what is smoke testing versus sanity testing, you don't need to tell 6 points. So just 4 or 5 points. Okay. So just read it once again. I'm going to explain this diagram explanation. So, when we conduct smoke and sanity testing, that I will explain by this image. It's visible, right? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have initial stage or unstable build. The first time the developer release build to the testers, we do smoke testing. So we verified the build is stable or not. Okay. And next, and if the smoke testing is passed, we do conduct the rest of the testing like system testing, regression testing, etc. And suppose smoke testing got failed, okay, then build will be rejected. So here there is build rejected. So we don't conduct any testing on the build. Suppose after getting some more cycles like build 1, build 2, build 3, after getting few life cycles, slowly become the build is stable. Here there is a stable build. So installation successful every time. In that case, we do sanity testing. So this basic functionality, which is high level, that we are going to test, and that is called sanity testing. And if it is passed, then rest of the things we will conduct. Again, if it is failed, okay, then reject the bill. Either smoke or sanity, we reject the bill again. If they provide the bill, and we'll continue with the testing. Okay, this is the difference between smoke versus sanity. So first testing. What is the first testing? Smoke testing. So smoke testing mainly focus on stability of the application. So smoke testing is followed by the sanity testing. What is the meaning of sanity testing? It is mainly focused on main features. Main features means high level features of the application. Okay. So smoke testing conducted or at the initial testing life cycle, whereas sanity conducted after few life cycles. After build is stable. So checking functionality is working or not. Okay. This is the explanation of smoke testing and sanity testing. Next, let us understand what is exploratory testing. So sometimes what happen in your testing environment or company, so you don't have any requirement, but application is ready. You don't have any functionality or FRS document or SRS document, and no document is available. But application is ready, and you have to test the application by exploring functionality. Suppose you joined someone company, in that company software already developed and document still not ready. So they have given the application to you and trying to understand the functionality and do some kind of testing. So what you will do? Without having any documents, without having test cases and test scenarios, you will explore the application and understand completely and test it. So that is called exploratory testing. Explore means what? You don't know anything before that. You don't have any documentation. You don't have any test cases, nothing. You will just explore the functionality of the application. So based upon the previous experience, so you will open the URL, you will log in the page, click on the register links, click on shopping cart, click on products without knowing any functionality. Just explore the application and understand the application and test the functionality. That is called exploratory testing. So in exploratory testing, you identify all possible scenarios and document it and use it for testing. So this is completely depends on the testers based upon the experience. So suppose the testers worked on a previous project. He has some kind of experience, and with the experience, the new application will be easily explored. For example, one employee, okay, in previous company, he has worked in banking project. Okay, the same employee in current company, he get banking project again. So without any document, he can easily explore the application because of his previous experience. Okay. So just we have to let us understand the definition. We have to explore the application, understand completely and test it. Understand the application, identify all possible scenarios, document it, then use it for testing. And we do exploratory testing when the application is ready, but there is no requirement. So test engineer will do exploratory testing when there is no requirement. So here there are some drawbacks in this testing. It is very important for interview guys. So when you will do exploratory testing, so it will be done if application is ready, but there is no documentation. In that case, we conduct exploratory testing. Okay. So what are the drawbacks in this testing? First one, you might misunderstand any feature as a bug or as a feature since you don't have requirement. So for example, I have small login screen. In this screen, normally with your experience, what you will expect? The login screen contains username, password, but along with this, some ID. There is one more field in this application. Now, based on previous experience, we exploring the application like username, password, that is fine. But additionally, what you are seeing, additional field is there. So you don't have your documents which talks about this functionality, extra functionality, okay? But you will assume this is a bug, okay? You thinking like ID is a bug. You may think that is a bug because you don't have proper document and just doing exploratory testing. So there is a chances to understand whether it is a bug or not. So that is one possibility. Suppose sometimes there will be a bug and you can consider that also a feature. Sometimes employee ID provide some for example in application username password along with some ID is also provided, and this is a part of your future and you will assume like it should not be there in your future along with username and password. You think should have username and password and ID should not be there. You may consider this as a bug, or you may think this is a feature because you don't have such kind of documents. You may confuse this ID field, it's part of your future or not. If it is not a feature, it may consider it as a bug. If it is not a bug, you may think it is a feature in your application. So this is a major drawback in exploratory testing. So there are chances to think you might misunderstand any feature as a bug or any bug as a feature. Right? Clear everything? Surendra and Akash?
Yes. Like exploratory testing, we have ad hoc testing, monkey testing. Is this the same, or they are a little bit different than exploratory
Little
testing,
bit
or a
difference is
subset?
there. No, it little bit difference is there, but I'll explain. Exploratory versus monkey testing versus everything I'll explain, okay?
Ad hoc testing.
So yeah, ad hoc testing also. And second point is time consuming. So because you don't know the requirement, you just keep on exploring each and every functionality. So it takes a lot of time. If you have a documents, then directly test the application. So you will verify all scenarios based upon the documentation, which is complete in less time. So when you don't have documents, you just exploring the application and it takes a lot of time, right? And what is the third point? If there is any bug in application, you will never know about it. So because if no documentation says about which one is a bug, that too considered in your that too consider sometimes if you have a bug in your application, you don't think that is a bug because you don't have a documents or nothing. You don't realize whether it is a real bug or not. So that is another biggest drawback. And next, ad hoc testing. So ad hoc testing means, see, exploratory testing, ad hoc testing, and monkey testing. These three similar kind of testing. Okay, similar only. But first, we will know what kind of testing there are, and we will compare these three testings. Okay, so during ad hoc testing, here also we don't have any documents. We don't have any test cases, test scenarios, nothing. We just have an application. So you don't know any functionality on this. So testing the application randomly without any test cases or business requirement documents. And means what? Suppose I gave your application to you and you have some previous experience on some projects and immediately you can do some kind of ad hoc testing. It means random, right? Randomly testing the functionalities without knowing anything. So based upon your experience, previous experience, you can assume the functionality. For example, login should be there. You know how to work, right? Logout should be there. So you know how it is work. Inbox, you know how it should work. So to test these things, you don't need any documents. Randomly, you can go and you can test the features, which is called as ad hoc testing. And what is the first point? Testing application randomly without any test cases or any business requirement document. And ad hoc testing is an informal testing type with an aim to break the system. So informal testing means what? So when we don't have any proper plan, when we don't have any such a cycle where you have to conduct the testing. So here we conduct ad hoc testing at any time. So we have to test the application randomly. So it is a informal testing. The main intention of this testing is to break the application because this is a fundamental testing. So tester will also try to break the application to find the defects in the kernel level of the application. So we have to think in negative way, not in positive way. For example, there is a password field, one uppercase, lowercase, number, special characters. We can test many ways, right? Test all possibilities and try to find the defect. Here, you should know some knowledge of application based upon the previous application. You should know already something. If you know, you can do this sort of testing. And what is the third point and fourth point? Tester should have knowledge of application even though he does not have requirements or test cases. This testing is usually an unplanned activity, right? Monkey or gorilla testing. So here we also test the application randomly without knowing any functionality. Here also we don't have any documents, test cases, nothing. But without knowledge of application, we don't know anything. Okay. What I'm saying, we don't know anything about application. So testers don't have knowledge of application, but in ad hoc testing, we have to know the application based on the previous experience. You assumed it and test it, even though you don't have a documents. But here you don't have a documents and also you don't know the application, but still you conduct some testing. So this is called monkey testing. For example, in mostly monkey testing conduct on gaming applications. Suppose in mobile or tab, you found some games and normally will play games, right? So they don't know the exactly how they play the game. As soon as they open, they do some clicking, some do actions and do a lot of things, but they don't know how to play the game. In those cases, application should not break. That is called monkey testing. Here we will jump and do some testing without knowing functionality of the application. You don't know how it is work, but still you just randomly click on something and see what is happening. So that is kind of testing we do, that is called gorilla or monkey testing. But why we called gorilla or monkey? Because it is not a stable. We do action or something when enter the application, like click on link, click on button without entering the data, just click on login, just doing some actions and seeing what is happening. So especially in gaming application, people they do some kind of this testing. Clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear,
Also, one
Akash?
doubt I have.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. One doubt I have, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Sanity testing we discussed. So, sanity testing, is it a subset of a regression testing where if there is any modification in application, let's say there are four module in application, and the changes has been done in only one module, let's say login module. So, is it necessary to do regressions of all four module, or we can test only module A where the modification has been done? Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you are audible. I'm trying
Hello.
to understand your question. So,
Okay. Yes,
you
I'll ask
first
one
we
more time.
do smoke
So,
testing. Yeah, please explore once again.
yeah. So, related to sanity testing, so is it a subset of a regression testing, or it's a separate task where we can do regressions, where we can test all the module one by one in sanity, or we need to do regression testing,
So,
or these two are different?
smoke testing and sanity testing both are subset. So, after that, regression testing is kind of different testing. In smoke testing, we just conduct the build is stable or not. In sanity testing, we test the main functionalities of the application. Main functionalities means what? If you take any application like, um, for example, like a web application. So Amazon login is working or not. Okay. If you entered application,
Mhm.
what you will see? Okay. Something categories are there. So properly it is navigating or not. Okay. And when you install the application, if it is properly installed or not. Okay. And if you want to sign up, so it is properly signed up or not. If you enter the data, it is properly taking a data or not. Okay. If you log in, it is properly login or not. After registered, okay,
Mm.
it is properly registered. This is main functionalities, right? Whatever I'm saying.
Mm.
It is not
Yes.
very minor things and we are not checking the functionalities in the corner level. So sanity testing means we just to check the main functionalities of the application. If it is properly working, then we next to move to regression testing or system testing, anything. So in regression testing, what we can do, if you have a few number of modules like module A, B, C, D, something, okay, and if you
Mhm.
found any defect in module A, so in regression testing, so there are three types. First, unit testing, full regression testing. So I'll already explained you, right, in previous last session. What is this 11th one?
Yes.
See, regression testing, what you will, we just know, when we found the defect in module A. So just we just know the definition. What is the? I mean, we just check. Um, there is. I mean, the impacted modules also. We are going to verify, and also the new functionalities whatever we added, that is not impact on the existing functionalities. Okay, so this thing we know, but in detail, in regression testing, we are seeing three types like unit, regional, and full regression. Unit means whatever, if you found the defect in module A, we and then what happened? We just assign the defect to developers. After fixing it, we are just to test the module A only. And regional means regional regression, in that impacted modules also we are going to test, okay, along with defective module. And full regression means everything, so main features, everything, whatever. So 80% of the modules, I mean, tested by developers only, and we are testers also, we can do it. So this is the regression testing. So both, sanity testing is not subset of regression testing. If you go in regression testing, it is a very huge kind of, again, it is
Mhm.
very huge kind of testing. It is not simple as we think. So if you go in, I mean, depends on project only. Sometimes we get only regression testing, like functional testing, non-functional testing, like that. Clear, Akash?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And here I mentioned what is the difference between ad hoc, monkey, and exploratory. So in three testings, we don't have any documentation, we don't have any plan, and it is informal testing. Okay. And here, the basic difference is there. In ad hoc testing, tester should know application functionality. Okay. But in monkey and exploratory, we don't know any application functionality. Okay. And three random testings. But here also, we just try to break the application here also, and here intention is to learn or explore functionality of the application. And ad hoc testing, we can do any type of applications, but monkey testing only conduct on gaming applications. And exploratory, any application which is new to testers. Okay, little bit difference is there, not more. And already we know what is positive testing and negative testing. I mean, you both have knowledge on that, right? What is positive and negative testing? Surendra and Akash, are you there, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
You know, right? What is positive and negative testing?
Positive testing is like whether the application or the module which we are testing is it working as expected. That would be positive, and negative would be like in terms of input, like mobile number. If it is accepting 10 number and I'm trying 11 or a 9 or a 10, except 10 digit, it should not work. That we will test in negative, I guess.
Yeah, right. So Just refer this was what is positive and negative testing, because I'm not saying, because already we know that what is positive and negative. As a testers, we already worked there, right? So you are not fresher, right? So next I will move to end-to-end testing. Surinder is not responded. I don't know why. I think he's busy.
Okay, okay. And ma'am, retest and regression test.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
So,
I'm
what is the
listening.
major difference between retest and regression? So, in regression, we cover end-to-end module to check whether all modules are working fine. And retest means any particular module, or it also covers the respective module as well.
Retest means whatever we assign the defect to developers, right? That only we are going to test.
Yes.
That is called retest.
Mhm.
That bug is fixed or not, that we are going to test. That is called retest. And in regression testing, we are seeing the defect also and the impacted modules
Mhm.
also. Whatever we added the new functionalities also and existing functionalities also. Everything we are going to test in regression testing.
So regression testing will be time consuming in terms of like we are checking everything.
Yes. So that's why someone, I mean, I heard like I have worked on functional testing. I have worked on non-functional testing. So I worked on only performance testing. So why people they are saying like especially on testing, because those testings are very huge and time consuming, and lot of time we have to spend on that. So regression testing also that type of thing. So someone, I mean, one of my friend, so she's conduct only regression testing, and she has a work experience on regression testing currently. Okay, because it is very huge one. So we have to think
Yes.
uh, every corners of the application. Alhamdulillah. Sorry.
Okay. So regression testing, but regression is done after the modifications or like updating the bugs. So I think the regression is not done frequently, right, ma'am? It is done periodically or after the new build or
Mm,
after the changes has been
of-
done.
Yeah. So after the build only we conduct a regression testing. So regression testing is type of, if you, I mean, new functionality means what? If you're updating anything, if you're deleting anything, if you're something like modifications, again the data will change, right? And that just a 1 minute, guys. Just a moment. So what I'm saying now, where we are actually,
We were discussing regression testing.
I forgot the point.
Okay.
My
It's
mother-in-law
like
suddenly yeah.
I said like regression testing is not done periodically. So like it's consuming and all. That's we were discussing.
Yeah, it's time consuming, but I forgot one important point, because suddenly my mother-in-law came and she has some work. I forgot that point.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we can
If
continue with
I,
the end-to-end testing.
yeah, sorry, Akash. If I remember, I'll tell you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So let's start with the end-to-end testing. So end-to-end testing means sometimes your lead will ask to perform end-to-end testing. So no need to understand what is end-to-end, but it means testing the overall functionalities of the application. Okay, that functionality covers each and every flow in your application. Let's say I have some application like Gmail. In this Gmail, login, compose, sendbox, inbox, trash box, there are different components, right? So I want to test end-to-end functionality. First, you will do login functionality. After successfully login, you will compose the email. Then I text the email and compose the mail, and it comes sendbox, right? And again, deleted the mail, it goes trash box. So these things are working properly or not, that we have to check. That is end-to-end testing. So it should cover all components. For example, if you take another example like banking application, so I want to do end-to-end testing. First, you should log in, right? Here there is image. First, you should log in and add customers. And these components are going to test individually. It should cover each every flow in your application. That is called end-to-end testing. If you see login, add customer, delete customer, edit customer, and log out. So these five scenarios should cover in one test. That is called end-to-end testing. So our major functionality should cover. Okay, that's why there is a definition is called testing the overall functionalities of the system, including the data integration among all the modules is called end-to-end testing. So in in below example, so there is a dependent functionalities are there in banking application, and that functionalities we have to test. Okay, so that's why it is end-to-end testing. So next, this is level one. Globalization and localization testing. Sometimes some application will support globally. Globally means what? So all different languages. Some application will support specific languages, right? We will see some applications support all different languages. Some applications will support only specific languages. For example, PayPal. PayPal is an application online payment system. So which is always there in every country throughout the world. It supports globally. Globally, here it comes into the picture globalization concept. It supports localization. Whether the support localization means what? Whether the application is support globally or not, all the languages or not. That is called globalization testing. And what is the meaning of localization? Our application support local languages only. Okay, that we are going to check. For example, Chinese application, and there is a website in that there is in Chinese language, but nobody can understand those website from the world. Only those countries specific people understand, and those specific people use this application. Even other countries can't access those application. In those application, we conduct localization testing whether the application supporting their own languages or not. For example, if you take a date format, the date format is different in one country to another country. And if the application supports all kinds of format, that is globalization. And overall, globalization means overall. Overall, in the sense, testing our application which is supporting globally or not. Localization testing means we are going to verify our application supporting the local community, the local languages or not. Okay. This is the explanation of localization and globalization testing. So global means whole world. Okay. And it supports all kind of languages in different countries. They use different languages, and that is called globalization support. And it tests currency format, mobile number format, address format, and it tests all kinds of format. So that's called globalization testing. Okay. So here, globalization, localization, there is no difference. But here, globally, we are going to test each and every languages like it is there is no particular, and localization means there is a specific languages. Okay. And next, test case design. See, what is the use of software tested design techniques? Where exactly we use this technique? Let us understand. So normally, when perform the testing, we need some kind of test data, right? Test data means what? The data which is used for testing. For example, I want to test the login functionality. For that, we have to prepare some test data, right? Like valid inputs and invalid inputs. We don't test only with valid credentials, like valid username and valid password, which can be logged in successfully. Apart from this, to check different types of data, like valid username, and username contains spaces, special characters, numbers, combination of numbers and alphabets. So different types of data we have to prepare. Then we will conduct the testing. So what test design technique will be used to prepare the test data? That is the first uses. And second uses, what is that? To test the functionality, we have to prepare so much of data. So instead of preparing so much of data, we can minimize the data and we can improve the coverage. There are two things are important. One is data, one is coverage. Data means which is used for testing. Coverage means whatever the data is prepared, with that data we should able to cover all scenarios of testing. For example, I'm taking a login functionality, valid username, valid password, that is one data combination. Invalid username, invalid password, and valid username, invalid password. These are different combinations of data set, right? Different combination of data we have to prepare. And why you preparing all this? Because to cover all the scenarios, right? To cover all test scenarios. So that is called coverage. Main usage of test design technique is to prepare the test data which will cover each and every area of the feature. That is our main intention. Okay. And so main uses of test design technique is to prepare the test data which will cover each and every area. Okay. And by using this technique, we can also reduce the data with minimal data. We can cover everything. For example, I have a small text box. In this, I have entered age of a person. So my requirement, what is the should be in the text box allows 18 to 30 years. In this particular requirement, how much data you have prepared? How many inputs we need? 18 to 30 years. We can, the text box allows only 18 to 30 years. First, we have to test what is that 18, then 19, then 20, right? And 18 to 30, all the numbers we have to test, and these are all valid inputs. But and below 18, how many numbers are there? 1 to 17. So they are invalid data. So it should not allow. After 18 and after 30, we have to test all the numbers. If I look at this requirement, we have a huge data that we have to test. Correct? Instead of this testing, all these kinds of data, we can just minimize the data. No need to go for all the numbers. By using test design technique, we can reduce the data, but at the same time, we have to make sure everything is covered or not. Okay. So test data technique means it will be used, reduce the data, and also which will increase the coverage. So there are two advantages of it. We can reduce the data, we can improve more coverage. So test data technique, we have five types of techniques. ECP means equivalence class partitioning. BVA means boundary value analysis. Decision table based testing. So state transition, error guessing. This is the concept that you have, you need it, right, Akash? ECP, BVA.
Yes, ma'am. That will be helpful.
Yeah. So ECP means first we have, let me start with ECP. So partition data into various classes and we can select the data according to class, then test it. So it reduces the number of test cases and saves time for testing. So there is a text box, right? Enter a number. Allow digits only 1 to 500. So if I don't use any test data technique, how we will test it? So we use all combinations and test it, right? Like 1 to 500, we are going to check. Below 1, that we are going to check. After 500, that we are going to check. Alpha and you entered, that we are going to check. So these are normal test data, right? Instead of testing all the numbers, we can just use ECP technique and we can reduce the data, and at the same time we can cover everything. But how ECP works? In ECP, what you will do is first step, we will divide the entire data into multiple classes or partitioning. How partitioning your data? So I can say 1 to 500 allowed, right? So before 1, also we have to test some numbers that is invalid data. So that you should not allow, and after 500, that also should be tested and should not allow us. So here divide values into equivalence classes. So if you see minus 100 to 0 means these numbers under below 0, right? Minus 100 to 0, take any one number like it minus 50, any number minus 100 to 0. When I add this minus 50 value here in text box, which is invalid, you should not allow, right? What does it mean? Whatever you have given in this range, that should not allow. But no need to worry all the numbers. Just take one value below this range, okay, and check it whether it is working or not. With a single value like minus 50, we can test that. Similarly, 1 to 100. So I choose 30 and divide the entire into multiple classes like 101 to 100, 201 to 300, 301 to 400, like that. This is equivalence classes. Once you divide in each and every class, we will take one value like 1 to 100. I choose 30, any number that is valid only. If 30 allowed means what? Which will allow all 1 to 100. You can just take one value and test it. No need to take all numbers from 1 to 100. So similarly, 101 to 200, 201 to 300, 301 to 400, 401 to 500, 501 to 600. So after 500, so 500, we will take one more class because this fall under invalid data. In each and every class, we will pick one number, any number you can take between in that range. Here I will take 101 to 200, I'll take 160, that is valid only. 201 to 300, I take 250, that is valid only. 301 to 400, 320, any number you can pick and test it. Okay, and 501 to 600, 550, that is invalid. Actually, minus 52, minus 50 and 550 both are invalid. We need to test invalid areas also. If we see test data using ECP, here test data using ECP, that is final data, which you are going to use for testing by using ECP technique. Okay. Another example, so there is a text box allow only alphabets. Alpha means what? Capital A to capital Z or small a to small z, right? And how we will partitioning the data? See, first capital A to capital Z, that is valid. Small a to small a, that is also valid. Special characters, invalid. Spaces, any, I mean, 250 means just take a number. Invalid. Numbers, invalid. And test data using this is the final data, right? And we will create some test cases like this. So far, see, from capital A to capital Z, okay, for uppercase, choose XYZ, anything. You can choose W, U, Y, anything you can choose. For lowercase, Alhamdulillah. ZYZ, special characters for spaces, for numbers. So we first classify the data and then we will prepare some data which belongs to each and every classification. So this is called ECP technique. Our main intention of ECP is the value check. What the value providing is correct or not. Okay. And next, is it clear, Akash? ECP.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, BVA. So boundary of the values. In ECP, what we will mainly focus on value check. But BVA, we will focus on boundary of the values. For example, we called it as BVA technique. It is used to check boundaries of the input. First, you see there is a text box, enter age. It allows digits from 18 to 35. So normally, how we will test it? 18 to 35 means what? When it pass between 18 to 35, it should allow. That is valid data. I also test invalid data. For that, we have to enter all the values below 18 and also enter all the values above 35. So they should not allow, right? To cover positive values as well as negative inputs. This is normally way to test it. But in BVA, we can reduce the data. At the same time, we improve the coverage. But how we can use this technique? In BBA, we will test only boundaries, not values. You can say, example, here minimum equals to 18, maximum equals to 35, right? 18 to 35. Minimum number is 18 and maximum number is 35, right? When I pass minimum value 18 and maximum value 35, they both should allow. And I will test only 6 parameters or 6 values. Here, see, you can see here. When I pass minimum value 18, it should allow. When I pass minimum value plus 1 equals to 19, it should allow. When I pass minimum value minus 1, there is a 17. It should not allow. Here only 3 values I am checking here with the minimum boundary. Similarly, there is a maximum number 35. That is a valid. Maximum minus 1, 34. Only one value that is valid. Maximum plus 1 that is 36. That is invalid. You got it? Is it clear? Is it clear, Akash?
Yes, ma'am.
Only 6 parameters which will need to cover. We don't need to pass all the values. So like that, we are going to test, we are going to use BVA technique. So we are not going to testing. This is not testing. This is technique. Okay. We are not saying BVA testing. We are just, we should say like BVA technique. In testing, we are going to use techniques. You can choose ECP, you can choose BVA, anything. So here, uh, see, input domain testing means the value will be verified in the test box or input. So we use ECP and BVA techniques. So when you face like text boxes or input fields like that, when you can use ECP technique or BVA technique and you can test it like that. Okay. But whatever you test, if you're doing ECP, if you're using ECP technique or if you're using BVA technique, that technique is called input domain testing. Okay. Input domain, someone, I mean, just assume we both are colleagues. So I came to you and I'm asking you, what type of testing you are doing. Then you said input domain testing. So what technique you are using? You said ECP technique I'm using in input domain testing. And you can ask me. I can also I said like input domain testing I'm doing, but I'm using BVA technique. Did you understand? What is the technique and what is
Yes,
testing?
ma'am. So does it comes under black box testing or it is a separate entity?
Black box testing. White box testing is related to developers only.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Yeah. Next, decision table. So decision table is not a testing type. We use a technique for preparing the test data. By using these techniques, we can reduce the data. At the same time, we increase the coverage. So when we use this decision table, so it is also known as cause effect table. So it is, I mean, and this technique will be used if we have more number of conditions and corresponding actions. Sometimes we have certain scenarios where we need to verify a lot of conditions. For example, if so and so condition, then do this action, so and so condition, then do another action. Based on the condition, we do different actions. In those cases, you have to prepare different set of data based upon conditions and actions. So we have to cover all conditions at the same time. We have to cover all actions. For that, we have to prepare the data. In that case, we prefer decision table technique. But how you will prepare the data in decision table? For example, there is a requirement here. Transferring money online to an account which is already added and approved. Okay, there is a requirement. Here, certain conditions and actions should be performed. What are the conditions we are following here? See, account already approved, that is one condition. OTP match, that is second condition. Sufficient money in the account, that is third condition. So these conditions should be satisfied. Now, actions to be performed based upon this condition, we have to do certain actions. So we have to transfer money, that is action. Suppose if you don't have your money in your account, then immediately it shows message. Show a message as in of insufficient amount. Okay. If OTP is not matched, then block the transaction in case of suspicious transaction. So these are the actions to be performed based upon the conditions. For this, we have to write some test cases. Whenever you see this type of requirement, conditions, actions, then go for decision table technique. Okay. See, decision table technique, there is a conditions. Okay, I can't already these three conditions and these three are actions. You have to write a test cases based upon these conditions and actions. First test case, the three conditions are true. Okay. So account already approved, OTP is matched, and sufficient money also in your account. Okay, executed. In second test case, account is approved, OTP match, but sufficient amount is not in your account. At that time, what you will get? What action you will it will perform?
Mm, it will not accept it.
Sorry,
It will not accept it if we are giving the wrong information.
your account is already approved and OTP also match. But when you check in your account, there is no sufficient money. At that time, you should get a message, right? Which message you will get? Transfer money, that is the message you will get. Show message insufficient amount, that is the message you will get. Block the transaction in case of suspicious transaction, that is the message. In which
Action
action
to
it will perform?
just second show message insufficient amount.
Is Yeah. Action 2, it will perform when you don't have sufficient amount in your account. Right? There is a hint, Akash. See, execute.
Yes,
This one is executed. You are not focusing. So you are not understand, then tell me. I will repeat once again. So don't hesitate, Akash. So these topics are important for you, right?
yes, ma'am.
So if you see that test case, account is already approved. Okay. But OTP is not matched. Then what message you will get?
OTP is not matched. In that case, it will be a false
Of the
condition.
transaction. See, when you
Sorry, ma'am.
when you don't have any, see,
Mm,
if your account is already approved, OTP match, and amount already sufficient in your account, then you can transfer the money, right? This action you can do
yes,
when these three conditions are
the
satisfied,
conditions are satisfied.
then you can transfer the money. When
Mm,
when see, account is already approved, OTP is not matched, then you will get the message like OTP is not matched and some strange person is accessing the account. They will think like, right? They will think like some
yes,
strange person accessing the account. So Akash account is in danger. So we have to uh, block the transactions. So Akash money will be
correct.
in safe, right?
Yes,
So they think like, and you will
right.
block the transactions if it is OTP is not matched. But suppose OTP is matched, but sufficient amount is not there in your account. It will throw error message, right? Your account, there is no sufficient amount in your account. It means what? You
Mm,
can't transfer the money to other person, right?
yes,
Whenever you see
correct.
conditions and actions, this type of conditions and actions, you just go through with decision table. Okay. Use this technique and you can do the testing. And fourth one, account is already approved, but OTP is not matched and sufficient money is also not uh, there in your account. Then which message you
Mhm.
will get? Of course, OTP is not matched means second step. After that you will get the
Is
message like
not
drop the transaction.
satisfied. Yes,
And after that they will I mean
yes,
it will not give a chance to check the sufficient amount is there or not, because OTP is not meant that enough for your account. Okay, this is not Akash, this is
yes,
some other person trying to access. So they will block your transactions, and after the sufficient amount there is no chance to check. So that's why this action 3 is performed. Okay, if
yes.
OTP is matched, then sufficient amount is not there, then action 2 will perform.
Sufficient.
And test case 5, it is invalid test case. Okay, if account is not approved, then you can't do any action on that. Simple thing.
Yes. The first, if the first condition is false, then there is like, it will not go further. It will stop there.
Yeah. If we have more number of conditions or actions, then we use decision table technique. Okay, when you have used decision table technique, and give me one example. If the interviewer like ask you, then you should able to explain with one example like this. So just draw one picture or take one example like this and explain it in a proper way. Okay,
Mm.
and spread transition. This is also one type of technique which we use for test data design technique. Okay, let's see what exact it is. It is a technique basically in this input will be changed based upon the status. We will do different navigations, different actions, and accordingly input conditions also will be changed. For example, so in this technique, the testing team provides positive as well as negative input test values for evaluating the system behavior. For example, this technique allows the testers to test the behavior of the application, and tester can perform this action by entering various input conditions in a sequence. Let us understand first what is state transition. It means changing the state from one to another, changing the conditions from one state to another state. So I'm repeating once again, changing the state from, I mean, changing the conditions from one state to another state. That is called state transition. For example, this is called some login part. Okay. Suppose if you go for ATM or using internet banking application, how many times password will allow? Suppose I entered password wrong, how many times
I
it
think
will allow?
three times, maybe.
Yeah, max to max 3 times.
Maximum two, three
Correct?
times.
Max to max 3 times, 2 or 3 times. So even if I enter third time, wrong password I entered in third time. Okay. After that, what happened? It will lock or it will block the account. Correct?
Yes.
So let us take that scenario and how the
Right.
state transition works. We will see. So this is the example of login page application or some ATM, which locks the ATM after entered the third attempt of password. So this is my requirement. Okay. Let us check different states. When I enter the password a very first time, okay, it should allow, right? If it is correct. And then open home page. This is called one state transition. Now suppose the first attempt got failed. So it will give second attempt chance, right? You can enter the password. If in second attempt we provide valid password, then it will open home page, right? Suppose if second time also provided invalid password, then it will give a third attempt chance. And in third time, if you enter the valid password, then it will open home page. If it is if you entered the wrong password in third time also, what happened? It will block. So each and every attempt is considered as a states. First attempt is a state 1, second attempt state 2, third attempt state 3. Okay, in every state we provide some input, valid and invalid inputs. Based on this diagram, we will prepare a small table. Okay, and they will give you more clarity on this. So first we will have the states. So there are multiple states we have, even home page, account logged. Okay. Home page we considered as S4 and account logged we considered as S5. First attempt S1, second attempt S2, third attempt S3. Every node considered as a different states. Now we will list out all the states in one column and we will also name them. Okay. So S1 is the first attempt, S2 second attempt, S3 third attempt, S4 home page, S5 account locked. So five different states that we have specified. Then here we prepare some data. Suppose in the state one, in the first attempt, when I pass the correct password, then in which state we have to go? In which state we have
Sorry,
to
ma'am, can you
go?
repeat the question?
Home page. If you enter the valid password in first attempt, it will open home page, right?
Yes,
It will, if you enter the wrong password in first attempt, so
it will stay there.
which
Like
action? It will give a second attempt
a
chance.
display message.
So
Yeah.
no, display message is not there. It is not conditions and actions
Uh,
technique. We are not performing decision table technique. That is related to conditions and actions. We are uh, we are doing some ATM action. You put an ATM. If they ask you a PIN number, then for example, if you entered a
yes,
wrong password, then it will give there is a wrong password and means it will throw error message. But there is, if you see our up and down, above and below, there it will give a second chance, second attempt chance,
correct.
PIN number.
Yes.
No, it is a
If you
wrong
enter the
password.
correct page.
It will give another chance. If you entered right password or right PIN number, then um, it will take you to home page, or else it will throw another second attempt chance, third attempt. So after that, what happened? If you enter the right password in third attempt, it will open home page, or else your account will block because third attempt is the final chance. So this is called state transition. Okay, and how it will change. So based upon the input what we provide. When I pass valid input and invalid input, how the state is transferring from one step to another step, that we are going to focus. Okay. So decision table means if we have more number of conditions and corresponding actions. State transition means we will be used if we have multiple states of transactions. Clear, Akash?
Yes. So it's like a transition between step-by-step executions and how, based on our input application behave or perform, and that
Yeah,
under a conditional state.
yeah. This
Right.
is the when you if you do one action, it will change another state. If you do second state, if you're doing some action in second state, it will change another state. So that is actions. But decision table means it's completely condition and action. Condition means if you do any act, if you you are applying one condition, but it perform one action. Okay, you are doing some action. You are applying second condition, but based on that condition, it will do some action. So condition action is kind of different thing, and corresponding state of transitions is kind of different thing. Just understand what is that based on the images. You will,
Okay,
just
got
refer
it.
this document once again. You will understand very clearly what I'm saying here, and on which basis you can choose the technique like ECP, BVA, decision table, and state transition.
That's good.
Right, Akash? Am I
Yeah,
clear?
got it. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First, in the when I'm trying to learn, I am also confused. but repeatedly I'm explaining again and again, right? To with the different people, I'm interacting with different people with these topics. So later
Mhm.
I'm slowly understand what is this type of conditions and actions, and what is this state transitions, and when we will choose techniques. So slowly you can understand also, Akash.
Yes, ma'am.
Error guessing. So this is a very simple and small technique. We don't have any conditions, actions, nothing. It is just guessing the error. And when you will able to guess the error, normally if I give an application,
When we will know
something
the
is not working, right?
yes,
And how we will know that whether it is working properly or not, based upon your guessing, your experience, and your analytical skills. So this is purely depends upon the tester individual analytical skills. So based upon their experience, they can guess the error. For example, you have online application where you want to select the product, add them to cart, and then you do payment. This is the flow that actually we do. Suppose you don't have test case, document, nothing, and I'm searching the product, and after this adding to the cart, and then payment actions are properly not working and got failed. Then immediately you guess it right. There is an error and in the payment process. Suppose product is selected, and when you try to add to cart, which is not properly adding to the cart, so immediately you will know that this is an error. And do you refer any documents to guess it? No, right? This is just our assumption, our analytical skills. Based upon your experience, you can tell this is error or not. So it is purely depends on experience. So this is called error guessing. So it is one of the testing technique used to find that bugs or defects in the software based on the tester experience. Here we don't follow any specific rules, just blindly we test the application and check the errors. Okay. So what is the first point? Error guessing is one of the testing technique used to find the bugs in a software application based on testers' prior experience. What do you will expect? What I don't have
whether
entering
it's
the
work.
value in the form. For example, I have a form and I don't have entering the value. Just click on the submit. And so there should be error message, right? If I don't enter the values, if I don't enter the data, and directly I'm going to click on submit button, it will throw an error message like demo web shop. Okay. If you are not entering any keywords and directly you go to search button, it will throw an error message, right? Like this.
Yes,
Sorry, this is not for you guys. This is example for TOSCA admission testing. It will see. I will show you. This is one application. So directly, if you go and
mhm.
click on that, what it will throw error message. Please enter some such keyword. Like that, I'm taking one example. Okay. And there is a form, and without entering the values, and just click on the submit button, it will throw error message and it will display that is error. Just we are guessing. Similarly, entering invalid values in the text boxes, such as alpha in the numeric field, and what kind of error we get? We have text box, it allows numbers, and you are guessing some error from the application. That is called error guessing. In every area, we have to check and guess the error. Right, guys? Okay, Akash? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, error guessing is completely based upon your experience. Okay. And your assumptions and your analytical skills. That's it. In the next session, no, in the not next session, because tomorrow 25th is a Christmas. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm not taking any class for tomorrow. Tomorrow
Okay.
25th, right? So from institute, I got a message, right? You have to give a leave. I mean, holiday. It's a Christmas
Mhm.
holiday. So from day after tomorrow, we will start TOSCA automation testing at 3 p.m.
Yes. Ma'am, I got a call like today that there is one batch shifting at like closing 11 a.m. That right. So hello.
Sorry.
Today I got a call from institute.
Okay.
That one batch will be closed at, which is going on at 11 a.m. in the morning. So I said we
Yeah.
have already discussed 3 p.m. So we continue.
Yeah. One batch is closing now. There are few more sessions are left, and
Then
it is
three is
in.
okay.
Sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
Akash
Like, yeah, 3 p.m.
is.
is okay, ma'am, right?
Oh, is 3 p.m. is okay. And another session is, see, there are 7 or 8 sessions are remaining. All I can
Yes.
manage. It's 11 a.m. and after the 3 p.m. is okay for you. We all already committed, right? At that for that time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
3 p.m. is okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That
3 p.m. is
that
okay.
is
And Surender
completely good.
also, Surender,
Mhm.
3 p.m. is okay for you. I don't know, Surender is there or not. Just mute and listening.
Mhm.
In the whole session, he's not
Yesterday he said
responded.
like
So
he
Surender,
said like
yesterday session, he's committed with that timing. So that's
yes.
why I'm saying on 26th, 3 p.m. we will connect. I will send the link on that day and 3 p.m. and we will start TOSCA automation testing. Okay. And that is our first class for automation.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, Akash, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. So for a TOSCA automation session, like it be starting from 26th December, I guess. So is it like it will take around 1 month, ma'am, or some more if we cover some other features? Then like how I went through the syllabus and
It will
so
not
like
take
if we
1 month.
start.
Exactly. If I say, if we are regularly followed, I'll say 24 or 25 classes, exact
Okay,
sessions from
okay,
not this session. Okay. Manual testing, don't add it in that. Okay.
okay.
I'm on talking only TOSCA automation.
TOSCA.
Um, 25, 24 to 25 sessions are there. If we exactly followed, if you practice very well, and if you followed my sessions.
Yeah, that was the reason I changed the time so that I can focus properly on.
Yeah. 3 p.m. is not
Okay.
a problem for me. I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's good. It is quite manageable for me as well, so so that I can practice properly. Yeah.
Yeah, Akash. Surinder also committed with that timing, but I don't
Yes.
know. Surinder is not responded in this meeting. I think he just mute and going somewhere. Okay, guys. So so let's meet on 26th with the new concepts of
Yes.
TOSCA automation testing.
Yes. So on that day, we need to install those commands. Like,
I'll tell you. First, I will tell you the brief explanation of TOSCA automation testing. So
mhm.
on that day or next day, we will install the TOSCA automation tool.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Akash?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So after TOSCA automation testing, still there are manual testing concepts are left. So
Mhm.
in manual testing, I'll start with STLC, software testing lifecycle. Okay. We have not covered yet that main topic, software testing lifecycle and agile methodology, defect lifecycle. These are the main topics are there. Test plan contents, test templates, everything. I mean, the very important topics are there. So that will cover after TOSCA. Okay, Akash?
Sure.
Yeah. So let's meet on day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, Akash and Surender. See you guys. Bye. Take care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night.